Crazy. Okay. And he dropped the whole report. And, you know, this is insane, especially with this recent attack on the private home of Vice President Vance in Ohio the other day. You know, when I was growing up, I always viewed the Secret Service as the elite, like the Delta Force, the Green Berets. They were maybe even above that. They were this elite force of men. I know they added some women. Men, you know, and these were the toughest of the toughest. And I remember when I was in fourth grade when Reagan got shot, and I remember it. Oh boy. And if you go back and watch that footage, it may look like a History Channel thing to many of you, but I remember when it happened. And you see those guys in their suits, all of a sudden, Hinckley comes out, did what he did, and these guys got like machine guns coming out of their suits. And I saw them in action once. The first time I met the president was Bill Clinton when he was president in his first term. And I was at this place where the Clintons were. Both of them were there, Secret Service everywhere. And I saw this guy and his son go on the other side of the rope, so you're not supposed to go on where the president was at. And I saw the Secret Service walk up, grab this very large man and his son, boom, and just walked off with him. I've never seen anything like it. With that being said, this guy that James O'Keefe busted, does this guy look like some elite Secret Service agent? I mean, I don't even know how he passes the physical. You know, remember Pete Hegseth when he had all the generals and the admirals come to that meeting and he was talking about the fitness test, that they're not in shape. Look at this guy. Now, I'm not trying to fat shame anyone, but if you're in the Secret Service, you're supposed to be the best of the best, the elite you're above what is the regular elite. And he's on the vice presidential detail. He could be on the president's detail the same day sometimes. And when you have someone that's at a detail like that, you can't have someone who's not in shape. I mean, if they had an incident, how far could this guy run? Right? How far could this guy run? This is how Trump got shot in Butler. By the way, you're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, which is available on all podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcast. Just search The Brian Craig Show. I'll pop right up. If you want to catch the show in video form and live, where I'm taking live calls and everything in video form live and where I take live calls, that is on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search The Brian Craig Show. I'll pop up. Make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you're listening. You know, like I remember with President Clinton, he had a Secret Service man that looked like him from far away. He had white hair, was about the same height, so that far away you'd have a hard time telling who was who. You see him in a lot of the old footage of Clinton. And this is scary. Now, it's been reported that he's been relieved of duty. This guy should be sitting in a jail cell He should be sitting in a jail cell with a massive investigation going. You know, what James O'Keefe does, because we've seen this revealed, they have these, they have people that go either on Tinder or Grindr, and they get these guys, and these guys go and they sing like canaries because they think they're going to get lucky. How many people has this guy shared this information? You know, the location data that he gave of the Vice President of the United States, that's top secret classified stuff. And after what happened to the, and remember in Butler, not only were they incompetent, remember the one who couldn't find her holster? Remember that? Oh my goodness. You know, the president got shot because of this incompetence. And if you remember, at the second assassination attempt on the president at his golf course here in Florida, a Secret Service man spotted the shooter, fired his weapon 5 times and missed. Missed this guy in a pink shirt and with the sun out and everything else. I would have made that shot. That shooter wouldn't have gotten away from me. They're not the elite anymore. And then you find out he hates ICE. This guy, he's federal law enforcement and he hates other federal law enforcement, and he voted for Biden. Let me play this again. James O'Keefe's biggest story since his first story, his Acorn story.
Cover journalists. We have
Okay, I mean, pretty scary stuff, huh, guys? You know, now remember, I was telling you yesterday morning that there was a possible attempt on President Trump this week, Sunday, right? Secret Service was doing a sweep on the route from Mar-a-Lago to the airport, and they found a suspicious device and rerouted the presidential motorcade, driving, zigzagging through the town at a high rate of speed. I did a whole show on that yesterday, and I do have a YouTube video detailing that that's on my channel right now, so you guys can check that out and hear the whole thing. So we had that Sunday. This drops today. What is going on here? You know, as frustrating as we all are with Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, and Bongino as deputy director, look at what they're going up against. I mean, how can this guy be on the Secret Service detail protecting the man and the man's family that he hates? He hates their policy. He voted for Biden. And Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, why is this man not in jail right now being held during an investigation? What this guy did, giving out confidential information and location information, future location information about the Vice President of the United States. And then there was that incident at the house the other day, right, where they arrested that guy. When you're sharing that's got to be top secret classified info. That's like espionage level stuff. You've got to be brought in and held incommunicado and not on suspension in a cell while there's an investigation. This is the kind of thing that the Patriot Act was put in place for. And you got to wonder how many others are there like this on the team. Now, President Trump, he's had 10 years of Secret Service protection. And I'm assuming now that he's president again, he has the pick of the litter as far as who protects him, and hopefully he has guys he can trust. I will tell you that when I have been around the president, the Secret Service people I've seen on his immediate details seem to love the guy. Okay, but this is one of the most frightening stories I've ever heard. You know, I don't know if this is too far or not, but maybe it's time for the Secret Service to be relieved of their protection detail and have the president under the guard of the Navy SEALs and the Green Berets. Because you can't trust these guys. You cannot trust these guys. You can trust the Navy SEALs. You can trust the Green Berets. That's who's got to do it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. You know, the president, I'm sure J.D. Vance is plenty ticked for good reason, but the president must really have gone through the roof. I bet you the president has gone through the roof over this. Now, do you think it is logistically possible to relieve the Secret Service of presidential protection duty and put it under the Navy SEALs and the Green Berets or whatever other special forces we have, Delta Force? I mean, I don't know, because I always thought that the Secret Service was at least equivalent to those guys, if not above, so far as training and sophistication. And what I'm seeing here is sabotage, espionage, and all kinds of other things. And it makes you ask the question about the golf course and Butler. Was that incompetence or an inside job up on the roof in the bushes? And if you watch, my documentary on the golf course assassin, it's on my YouTube channel. No one else has done this. I was surprised. I made this documentary the first day that you could go to the golf course after the assassination attempt. It was a couple days later. It was, I say in the video, it was the Wednesday or Thursday, I believe, after. I think a Thursday. And I parked where the golf course assassin parked. I went to the bush. I found the bush where he was hiding all night until the afternoon. And I walk you through everything from him parking his car to where he hid, where he fled to his car. I took his getaway route by car, filmed the whole thing, and I take you to where he was apprehended off of I-95. And it's a very good documentary. Nobody else has done that documentary. And when I did that documentary, there's no way that people did not see him. He was wearing a bright pink shirt, the golf course assassin. I could hear people, and I could see through the bushes people on the golf course. I could see what they were wearing. It's in the documentary. It's on the channel here. Watch it. And I look at that, and I say to myself, there's no way that these elite guys at the United States Secret Service could be this incompetent. There's just no way, especially after Butler. So I'm here telling you that I'm of the opinion that the Secret Service has done their duty. It's time to dismiss them all from presidential and vice presidential protection duty. They're not up to it. Secret Service is under Homeland Security. In the old days, they used to be under Treasury. And maybe that's when things went downhill. Maybe when the Secret Service were under the Treasury Department, they were more elite. I don't know. They put them in under Homeland Security. When all that started, and maybe that's when things went. What's that?
Maybe they were behind Kennedy.
Yeah, really. I mean, you got to ask. But it's time to say thank you for your service. By the way, you're not going home. We're going to detain you while we investigate everything that's gone on with you guys in the last, I don't know how many years. This is insane. This is insane. And my God, the president, they shot him. They tried to shoot him again. And now this, and this thing that happened on Sunday, which, by the way, was the second attempt by the airport in this second term, because if you remember a few months ago, they found that sniper's nest by the airport here in Florida as well. All right. Scary times, scary stuff. You're on the air. Now, hold on. You know what? Let me do this. Let me take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back with your calls, okay? My name's Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, where MAGA comes to talk. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. If you're just tuning in, oh boy, rewind to the beginning. You missed a lot. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
Oh, well, one thing that I always knew, and I know that the Secret Service are elite, but the Navy SEALs and the Army Rangers are at a level can't even comprehend, because maybe it is time, and you're onto something, I think, because this is absolutely unacceptable. I don't know the Secret Service director, what he's been doing, the one that was there, Butler. I don't know where he is going to be involved in all this here now, because I like the guy.
I forgot. Yeah, the guy that was on the stage with the president when he was shot in Butler's the Secret Service director.
Yeah, him. Yeah, the way he made it him, and I don't know where this is going to stand now, but maybe you're right, and I think this might be a time for a change. Something's definitely changed in them.
These guys, this is like having the James Comey FBI guarding the president and vice president.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I mean, just as much. It's horrible. I know, and maybe during Reagan's day and before, there was guys who were real hard in military, more like that, more elite.
Mm-hmm.
But something's definitely changed. And that guy that James O'Keefe revealed there, he does not look elite. He doesn't look like anything.
No.
And I can't even believe that. I think there has to be at least a proper vetting of men here, because this is just, this is just not right.
Well, how would that guy be able to chase down someone?
I'd like to see that. That would be
I could outrun that guy.
A miracle.
I could outrun that guy. And I'm not in the Secret Service, and I'm not in that bad a shape, but I'm.
I just can't believe it. I just think that, J.D. Vance, you know what? I can understand if he's really, I'm sure he's steaming. But
well, he's got little kids. He's got little kids.
Yeah. Do you think now that what happened with that guy that went to his house, do you think that has some involvement?
Yeah, it's called incompetence or espionage. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder. Can they be trusted?
Well, this guy
not just incompetence, can they be trusted?
Well, this guy that went to J.D. Vance's house. Do you think there's a connection with this guy here?
These are, I don't know, but I know this is the same Secret Service that let cocaine into the White House during the Otto-Penn administration.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy was definitely part of the whole thing. And he's spilling his guts out, and credit to that woman who goes on there. She did.
Indeed.
O'Keefe does such a great job.
O'Keefe is brilliant.
He really does.
And he needed a good story because Nick Shirley we were calling him the new James O'Keefe. So this story came at a good time for James O'Keefe. I love James O'Keefe, by the way. He's very good.
Yeah.
And when his Acorn story, which made him famous, Acorn, I'm not going to go through all that. You guys can go back and review it if you're not familiar with the whole story. But Obama was putting Acorn in charge of the 2010 census. The census is what determines everything the government does, including how much congressional representation every state has and all that. And because of James O'Keefe's work, Acorn lost the census and saved the country. All right, I appreciate the call. Take care. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Dreamer Wesley from West Virginia.
Hey there. What's on your mind, West Virginia?
I'm really concerned about when Trump goes to Davos. I think it's this week.
Yeah.
For the World Economic Forum meeting.
Yeah.
How are they going to protect him there when he's?
Well, the question is, when we see this new, this new James O'Keefe story, the question is it incompetence or on purpose, right? Or is this incompetence or treason? Incompetence or treason?
I think it's treason. How could anybody be that incompetent?
It's like having these the Antifa people in Minneapolis that are protesting ICE on protecting the president and vice president.
Right. Pull one off the street, dress them up a little bit, give them a gun, and let them walk around with the vice president or the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a badge.
Scary.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
I'd like, I know they're undercover, but I always wonder what the girls look like that they get out on the dates with these guys. Are they like real knockouts? You know what I mean?
They never show them, but actually, one time James O'Keefe went in disguise and
the gay one.
He was in the background of a diner.
Yes, I remember that.
And you did see the date, but that was a guy with a guy.
Yeah, that was a gay. And then James O'Keefe went undercover as a gay guy from Grindr or something to meet a guy too remember that, and he chased him down the street. That was recent.
Yes, that was the first one I ever saw.
Yeah.
They're all funny, but they're also not funny. They're entertaining.
This is very frightening, and J.D. Vance must be freaking out for his wife and kids.
I would think so. I am, and I don't know personally. I don't know J.D. Vance, but I certainly like him.
I'll tell you this. In the past, when I've been around the Secret Service many times over my life for different people, presidents and officials and things that I've been to. And I remember when, and I've always been impressed by them until recently, the Secret Service people today are not the same class of people they were in the 90s or so. The Secret Service guys, they used to look like they looked elite. They were like elite looking big guys, and now they're short, 5'6", 5'5". You know, they're not intimidating. They're small. This guy is overweight. You know, they're not. They've obviously reduced the qualifications to get into what used to be an elite unit, presidential and vice presidential security details with the United States Secret Service. Now these are like mall cops.
It just goes to show the standard of the entire country. Our teachers, you know, you look at our teachers, they used to be professional looking. Now you can't tell a teacher from a student.
That's true. And well, with this Secret Service guy, he was giving this girl in text messages confidential information about the location of the vice president and future locations of the vice president. How has Pam Bondi and Kash Patel not arrested him? Why is he at home on suspension or relieved of duty? He should be in a federal cell.
He should be over at Quantico or, you know,
a military base.
He
He should be held at a military base while everything he's ever done and every conversation he's ever had is investigated, because this guy
and bring in all the other.
Well, he's giving out confidential information because he's trying to get lucky with this girl. Well, yeah, my goodness, how many times has he done that?
Exactly, and they really need to. I think they need to bring every single anybody in contact with the president, the vice president, Marco Rubio. You know, just bring these people in and interrogate each one of them.
Indeed.
By some professional interrogators, not Pam Bondi.
So just to end with the call, so do you believe with this guy, do you believe it's incompetence or treason?
I think it's treason. I don't, whether he's incompetent or not doesn't matter. It's treason.
Well, he said he hates ICE. He said he hates ICE. He disagrees with Trump and Vance's immigration policy, and he voted for Joe Biden. A Secret Service agent should keep their opinions private.
Do you remember the guy that was telling that he was going to lay low and just throw rocks into the, you know, stall everything that was going to happen? And
yes.
I think he worked at the Pentagon.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I wonder if he's still there.
I don't know.
Did they get rid of him after the James Hickey's report?
Yeah, I remember that. All right, appreciate the call. Thank you so much. All right, if you'd like to call in, and you're watching live, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. It's toll-free no matter where you're watching. It's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice.
Brian, I'm calling from the... Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
I'm Brian.
Okay.
I'm Brian. I'm calling from the D.C. area. I don't know if you've already covered it, but the VP story, I guess Fox added to it. It's reporting that you're a fucking faggot.
There we go. Okay, well, that's good. At least they got my name right on Fox. I appreciate that. If you're on hold, stand by. I will continue to take your calls about this, but I do want to take a quick break, and I've got some other things that I want to cover when we get back. You're listening to The Brian Craig Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this. All right, welcome back. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for joining. If you're just tuning in, you missed a lot. A Secret Service agent on the vice president's detail busted by James O'Keefe, giving out confidential information to a girl he didn't know about the location of the vice president, and said some other things. These are some text that James O'Keefe has released that the Secret Service agent sent to the undercover. I'm flying on Air Force Two. I think he leaves in the afternoon. So this is crazy. Ohio, he'll be there for like 4 or 5 days. And Floria will be just one night. I guess, is that short for Florida? Will be just one night, but he gets there next weekend. I wonder if this was during all this military action with Venezuela that was going on. Well, today we went from there to pick up the wife, and now I'm with him. So now he's giving out information about the wife. I sign paperwork, so if I don't have to give out information, I never do. Otherwise, I get in trouble. But he's giving her all the information. I got to tell you guys, President Trump has a perfect cabinet and administration except for the Justice Department. He's had bad luck in both terms with attorney generals, and I see what this guy is doing. Why has Pam Bondi not arrested him? And the question I ask about Pam Bondi, at this point, we were trying to give her a break and all this stuff. Is she incompetent, or is she part of the Bush team? I don't know. But a guy like this, without question, should be in a jail cell in a military base. No longer can the Secret Service be trusted to protect the president, the vice president, or their families. And for that matter, the cabinet. And, I remember, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I do remember when the Secret Service was transferred from the Treasury Department to Homeland Security. There was a lot of pushback on that because people had said that under the Treasury Department, they were special and they were elite and they were separate, and putting them over there in the pool at Homeland would degrade. Oh no, it'll be fine. We didn't have this problem when they were at the Treasury Department, at least not that we knew of, although Kennedy and Reagan got shot. And if you remember, when Reagan left office, he was still under Secret Service protection. President Reagan, I just remembered this. Any of you remember this? President Reagan was giving a speech somewhere after he was out of office, and he was accepting an award that was made of glass. I don't remember what the award was. A guy got up on the stage and broke the award that was in the hand of President Reagan. I couldn't believe it. During the first campaign of President Trump, there was a guy who jumped up on the stage where he was speaking at an airport somewhere. Remember that? I was watching that on One American News. Also during the first campaign, I remember there was a guy with a gun inside an arena. I want to say Vegas. It may not have been Vegas, but Vegas comes to mind. And he got pretty close to the stage, and he had a handgun somewhere on his person. He got caught. Remember? There's something off here. What can be done about it, I don't know, other than remove them from their duties and put elite military personnel in charge of the presidential detail, because this Secret Service isn't getting it. And I promise you, this is on the top of the president's list, because he relies on them to protect him and his family. I saw an interview with Kai Trump talking about being out on a date with a Secret Serviceman, going with her on dates. I mean, so the president, believe me, this is important to the president. He'll get to the bottom of it. Those of you on hold, hang in there. I got some other things I want to cover. Does Caroline Leavitt look pregnant? She doesn't look pregnant. I guess a little early. Here's the president today. Okay, so I don't know. That might be an old clip. I might have gotten the clips mixed up because he's talking about Pam Bondi there. This says it's from today. Donald Trump indicated he's considering legislation to completely remove the capital gains tax. Trump declared, "We're looking at that. It's a very big." I don't know. I think that's the wrong clip. I don't know. She doesn't look pregnant. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. That's not the one I meant to play. That was supposedly from today. I meant to play another one, which I'm going to play now. The president gave a great speech today. Did you see it? Him walking around the factory and everything? And he made some big, hey, it's live. If I play the wrong clip, I play the wrong clip. But he made some great announcements and said some things. Listen to this.
We frozen all children's payments to those states that we're talking about, and we will now require proof of attendance in order to receive federal funding for child care or any of that. How about all these child care places in Minnesota where there are no children? They go there, they get paid millions and millions of dollars. The biggest operation in all of Minnesota had no children. And we paid millions of dollars. They're scammers. They're scammers. They always will be. And we're getting them out. And we're not going to pay them. We're not going to pay Minnesota. Right, Scott? We're not paying Minnesota any more money for that, for any of that crap. It's a big scam. It's a giant scam run by an incompetent, crooked governor. He's an incompetent, crooked guy. And also we're freezing any and all welfare payments going to illegal immigrants. And will start effective immediately. So when illegals come into California, Gavin Newsom, they come into California and they send us bills for people coming in. We're not paying it. So we're working on that very soon.
Awesome.
Just don't pay it. As Nancy Reagan would say, just say no. Remember Nancy Reagan? Just say no to drugs. It's a little more difficult than that, I guess, right? Just say no. Additionally, from this moment forward, if you're on public assistance like almost all Somalis are, did you see we're 94% of public assistance? You can't wire money out of the country back to your bank account from where you came. But more importantly, we probably aren't even going to give them the money anymore. The money going to them because of the tremendous abuse, probably illegality being perpetrated on our country. We're not going to give them the money. We're not giving them the money.
Yeah, about time. Some accountability. It's happening. And you notice all this accountability, everything that's happening involving all of this, is Pam Bondi has nothing to do with it. You know, and this Leering Center scandal, which has led to the largest financial scandal in history with the Somalis, you know, I think Scott Bessett said, was it Scott Bessett? He said today that 10% of all government money goes to corruption. I'm surprised it's only 10%. Maybe that's what they know of so far. Here's another announcement the president made, new policy.
We're given 90-day notice to places like California, Scott. Right away, we're going to send out that notice. We would bill the federal government as people poured into the state, send those people back because no country can afford to do it. No country can afford to take in millions of people, pay for their education, their health care, their hospitals. You just can't do it. And we all have a heart. You can't do it. But many of those people are murderers. They're people released from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. They're people that are drug dealers. They're addicts. Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens. And it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
There you go. You know, you can't have a sanctuary city for federal crimes. You can't say, okay, bank robbers, kidnappers, this is a sanctuary city here. If you've robbed a bank or kidnapped, you can come here and live in safety. You can't do that. So no, they do have to have their money cut off because they're breaking the law.
Last week we announced
Yeah, okay, here's another clip of the president. It's just great announcements the president had today.
Last week we announced that I'm creating a brand new division at the Department of Justice, a legal strike force led by a really tough, smart new Attorney General for fraud. He was a fantastic young guy. He's so impassioned he'd do this properly. We intend to imprison any fraudster, politician, or public official involved in these sick plots to loot and pillage our country.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is a real thing. And this is really a continuation of Doge in a way, right? They shut down USAID, but now we got this other scam, and that's getting shut down too.
We're also going to revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or anywhere else who is convicted of defrauding our citizens. We're going to get them the hell out of here fast.
That's right.
And if you come to America to rob Americans, we're throwing you in jail and we're sending you back to the place from where you came. We're throwing you right in jail.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, these people that are doing all this thieving have been doing it without any fear of anything happening. I do want to mention also that, because I was talking about him today, Scott Adams, of course, sadly passed away today, 68, very young, the creator of Dilbert. And I was talking this morning, he had released a video. Was it his last video? It was the last one of his that I saw, where he had said that he had accepted Jesus and became a Christian. And I'm glad he did it in time. And what People Magazine did you see what People Magazine did? This is sick, disgusting. I didn't even know that People Magazine existed. They dropped this hours ago. And there was a lot of negative feedback on social media, and they haven't changed it. Look at this. People Magazine. Scott Adams, disgraced Dilbert creator, dies at 68. Now, by disgrace, what, that he became a conservative? People on the left are sick, twisted people. It's beyond Trump derangement syndrome. They're in a place that I don't understand, you don't want to understand, and it's just a place of just total hate, total anger. This was a great one. This is an ICE agent. He's being confronted by these one of these liberal stalkers going after ICE agents. Now, by the way, I just show you this. This wasn't the main reason I shared this, but look at this ICE agent as compared to that Secret Service agent from the beginning. He's tall, he's fit, you wouldn't mess with this guy. He'll kick your butt. He's not overweight, you know, like the Secret Service guy that James O'Keefe busted. See what they're doing? This is their new technique, pushing people's buttons. They're getting training in how to push people's buttons to try to instigate an incident. That's why I was talking this morning, and there's a lot of people saying the opposite on social media. And I question, I'm very sus of who these people are. There's going to be a lot of anti-ICE protests this weekend. There were some last weekend. There's expected to be many more this weekend around the country, and they're going to grow. Do not go to them, conservatives, MAGA people. Do not go to them. And I saw a lot of postings on X today. Oh, show them that we're there too. Go. Do not go. Because these anti-ICE protesters have professional training in how to push buttons and get a reaction that leads to a confrontation where you get arrested. Okay? They have training, you don't. So stay away from any anti-ICE protest in your community. Do not go. And when you see these videos of them with the ICE agents on the scene, you see that that's all they're doing is try to instigate an incident, antagonize them. Did you hear what she said? I'm a physician's assistant. I make $200,000 a year. Like she's better than this guy. And then he says, I went to high school. I make $200K too. You hear how elite she is? She thinks she's a better person because she went to school for 7 years and she's a physician's assistant. She's helping people as opposed to him. He's helping more people than she is. Here go the whistles. Here go the whistles. See, that's why you've got to stay away. They have training. You don't. And all they're going to do is try to instigate and push your buttons. And you know what? They're professional, trained, paid agitators. And there's a good chance that they'd be successful. You don't want to take that risk. Stay away from any anti-ICE protest. Okay. I've talked a lot about Candace Owens losing her mind. This has got to be the worst, okay? She's now being, she's being spoken to by Charlie Kirk from the Great Beyond. This was from her program yesterday, Candace Owens. Listen to this. So Candace Owens hates Jews so much, she dreams of Jewish funerals? They're very strange. Oh, boy. Mm. Okay, so, yeah, I know. She's nuts. Charlie Kirk, this is what she's telling us. Charlie Kirk is communicating to her from purgatory in her dreams. Communicating messages to her from purgatory that he was betrayed. And then she's got turning point flashes. This is crazy. I would not be surprised if she starts doing shows trying to get Charlie out of purgatory, that he's in purgatory until the people that betrayed him are brought to justice. I would not be surprised if she did that at all. We all have dreams, and they make no sense. I'm not going to share my dreams with you because, nobody who shares their dreams, but she does. But her dreams are not just random thoughts passing through her mind in a dream state. She's being communicated with from purgatory by Charlie Kirk. And now she's doing the work that Charlie Kirk is asking her to do from the afterlife. Is that what she's telling us now? Oh, my Lord. If my wife were doing this kind of stuff publicly, or privately, I would get her help. Where is Candace Owens' husband? Is he crazy town too? Or is he so overwhelmed by her celebrity that he doesn't do anything? Now, I want to share this with you. This is out of Texas, gas station in Texas. Here's gas, $1.69 a gallon. Oh man, that's almost worth driving to Texas to fill my car up. It's so cheap, $1.69 a gallon in Texas right now. This is all over social media, so check it out. I did post this on my X at Brian Craig Show. Donald Trump, promises made, promises kept. $1.69 a gallon, 87 octane in Texas. Sounds pretty good to me, doesn't it? Thank you, President Trump. If you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. And welcome. If you'd like to support my program and my content, please become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the episode. And if you become a Patreon supporter, of course, you're helping and supporting my program. You also get access to commercial-free editions of all my podcast episodes. And you also get access to Patreon-only live streams, which are on the Patreon platform. It's a troll-free zone. If you become a top Patreon supporter, you get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every episode, and you get your name up on the screen on YouTube. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Doris. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. Again, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description of this and every episode on whatever platform you are tuned in on. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you next time. Take care.